From Ronda, we took the bus to Sevilla. It's about a 2.5 hour is what it said on the website, but it was just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
The bus station is close to the river, as well as it was close to the apartment we were staying at in Alameda and several other of the attractions that we went to. We also one day took a bus out to Italica, the old Roman city.
Our place had a big deck on it, and we were very close to this street and square where there was lovely little restaurants.
This was a really good meal. We had a menu del dia for like 14 euros, appetizer, main course, dessert, and a drink.
And it was right on the Hercules Square.
Alameda Hercules, so these towers are Hercules and Julius Caesar, I believe. We walked around the old town and popped into this little tapas bar and had lunch. Seville was very, very busy. This was late October, found it very crowded in the old town.
Yeah. But there were some lovely places.
Yeah, so this is Plaza Espana, which was built in 1929 for the Ibero-American Expo. There's tile work around the plaza that represents each region of Spain. It's absolutely huge, and you can't get it all in one picture. It normally has water in it, and there's little boats that you can go on a little ride around the water. However,
Of course.
it was under repair, and so they had drained it, cleaning it out, and these poor guys had to shovel all the stuff and to repair some cracks. And this is the lineup for, again, a paid toilet. And there's lots of horse and buggy tours around from the old town. This isn't something that we did. And then there's street performers performing flamenco.
And then more walking around.
We're walking around. Seville has a big royal palace and big cathedral, but the lineups to get in were just incredible. So we mostly walked around, and then sometimes you come across places like that little square where there was no one there, or there's a little spot there was no one else sitting outside.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah. Lots to see.
People had told us that Seville is really great for cycling, but we just found it was too busy, and the bike lanes kind of like ended unexpectedly and then continued somewhere else unexpectedly, and it just didn't feel like really cycling.
We like cyclotouring, but this was Seville is a very nice walking city.
Yeah, we walked all along the river on both sides several times. This is in the Macarena district, and then part of the Old Wall. Narrow street.
I think that was a bike tour.
I think so as well.
And these little hidden squares, you just walk through some doorways, and all of a sudden you're in a big open area. More tomato stuff.
This is another great restaurant in Alameda Hercules.
Oh, this is on our way to Triana.
Yes, we walked across the bridge and along the other side of the river to go to Triana. Triana is where the tiles were made. There's a big market there. Again, we didn't buy anything here or eat here. The restaurants inside were quite expensive, and it was quite busy, but we found this great little cafe on the street.
So about 10 kilometers outside of Seville is Italica, a Roman site, and we took the bus there, the M170A, from the bus station, which we were within a couple of kilometers of.
Italica is the first permanent Roman city outside of Italy. It was founded in 206 BC. It covers a very large area.
The restored area that we were in was originally an addition to the town that was later abandoned. And now in the town proper, which was Italica, is Santa Ponce. The museum is right by the entrance and contains a lot of restorations and replicas of many of the artifacts that they found in the area.
Italica was the birthplace of Trojan and Hadrian.
I think the main center of attraction is this amphitheater.
It held 25,000 spectators, and people would come in from there's all these tunnel walkways around it, and people would enter through from these tunnels and the doorways into the amphitheater.
A good part of it is restored, but there are places like this that are blocked off because, the stones fell and they don't really need to access everything. Roman soldiers, gladiators, and peasants would be walking these 2,000 years ago, and it still remains. And here's the main play area. I imagine that was boarded on top so that the animals and fighters could get underneath. And a pier for the crowds. It's a fairly large area, and also includes a subdevelopment, really, a subdivision of the town. These are the foundations of the homes that once stood there, and in the distance is Santa Ponce. They had a communal area for baking and a communal area for going to the washroom. A lot of mosaic. And they did a really good job on the interpretive signs too. Yeah, amazing mosaic work actually. This was one of the larger ones, restoration of the mosaics of the various planets. Would have been something 2,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So tour groups, and then we got back on the bus before around lunchtime actually, because first thing we did was go here for lunch.
We did, and this is the most salmon I've ever had on a bagel before, and the affogato was delicious. We went to the Setas de Sevilla, which is the big wooden mushroom structure that was built to give shade, which it is nice. And so we walked around underneath it. It costs around 16 euros to go up the stairways into it. And so we actually booked the sunset tour, or sunset time. So we were there at 1945, and just as the sun was setting, and then they have the
With
aurora.
all these people.
Yeah, with all these people, and then the aurora light show. And this goes on till like 1 a.m. And once you have your time and you're in, you can stay as long as you want. And I think we stayed for like an hour or so, and then walked back to our apartment. And we had no concerns walking back to our apartment at night. When we got to Alameda Hercules, there was a music festival and bands playing.
Yeah. Also unexpected, but interesting.
Yeah, so we stood and listened for a while. I mean, all Spanish. I couldn't understand anything. I couldn't even catch a word because they're so fast, right?
Yeah, but everyone was having a good time.
Yeah.
And we couldn't hear it from our place anyways.
Yeah.